They laughed at you, mocked you, looked you in the eyes, and told you that you weren't good enough, that you were weak, that you were a failure, and you believed them, didn't you?
You remember that feeling, don't you? The moment when you realized you were at the bottom. The moment when the world decided you weren't worth anything. The moment they discarded you like trash. But let me ask you something. Did they decide your fate? Or do you still have a choice?
Because this is where you decide who you really are. Will you let their words define you? Or will you make them eat those words? Listen to me. The pain of humiliation is fuel. It can burn you alive, or it can set you on fire. You decide which one.
Because there are two types of people in this world. Those who stay down, and those who get back up stronger. You already know which one they expect you to be. But what they don't realize is that you are not the same person they left behind. They broke you. Good. Now you rebuild. They humiliated you. Perfect. Now you train. They made you feel like nothing. Now you show them that you are everything.
Do you want revenge? Then get stronger. Do you want to prove them wrong? Then put in the work. Every single day, when they're sleeping, when they're comfortable, when they're wasting time, you are putting in the hours. While they laugh, you train. While they mock, you grind. And when the day comes, when they finally see what you've become, they will be speechless. This is the process, the journey from being nothing to becoming unstoppable. But it's not about them anymore. It's about you, your growth, your strength, your transformation. Because by the time you reach that level, you won't care about proving them wrong anymore. You'll only care about proving yourself right.
They will try to crawl back, to act like they always believed in you, to pretend they never doubted you. And that's when you will look them in the eyes and say nothing, because your success will be your revenge.
Revenge is not anger. Revenge is success. It's becoming so strong, so undeniable, that they have no choice but to respect you. Not because they want to, but because they have to. One day, when you look back at everything you've been through, you will smile. Not because it was easy, not because it didn't hurt, but because you made it happen.
Pain, suffering, exhaustion. The things that make most people quit. The things that separate the weak from the strong. You think the ones at the top got there because it was easy? Because they were lucky? No, they were built by the pain that broke others.
They made fun of you. They doubted you. But what they didn't realize was that every insult, every failure, every drop of blood and sweat was turning you into something they could never become. The pain is temporary. The strength is forever. The suffering will pass. But what remains is the unbreakable force you become.
Fear. The reason why most people never change. They fear failure. They fear pain. They fear being humiliated again. And because of that, they stay exactly where they are. Stagnant. Weak. Unchanged. But not you. Because you've already experienced rock bottom. You've already seen the worst of it. And now, there's only one thing left to do.
You move forward. No matter how afraid you are, you don't stop. You don't hesitate. Because fear is just another chain. And you were never meant to be chained.
Look at who you were, the weak, helpless version of yourself, the one who let others decide his fate, the one who let their words hurt him, the one who stayed down. Now look at who you are becoming.
They will never recognize you again. They will never believe you were the same person they once mocked. And that's because you aren't. You outgrew them. You outpaced them. You became something beyond their imagination. And now, the world will see exactly who you are.
This is not the end. This is only the beginning, because the moment you become strong, the war truly begins. New obstacles, new enemies, new limits to break. But now, you are ready for it. No more hesitation, no more weakness, no more chains. Just one goal, to become undeniable.
You know that feeling. That sick burning weight in your chest when they made you feel like nothing. That moment when you looked around and realized no one took you seriously. The laughter, the sideways glances, the whispers behind your back. They thought you wouldn't hear. They thought you wouldn't remember. They thought you'd just take it and move on. But that's not who you are.
People love to pretend they know your limits. They love to decide for you what you can do, what you can't do, how far you'll go, how soon you'll quit. You ever notice that? How the ones who never did anything are always the loudest. The ones who never risked, never struggled, never built anything. They speak like they know, like they're experts in what's possible and what's not.
But here's the part they don't understand. You don't forget. You don't let go. You don't move on like they expect you to. You take that moment, that feeling, that humiliation, and you hold on to it like a blade in your chest, a wound that never fully closes, a reminder of exactly what it felt like. Not to break you, not to weigh you down, but to make sure you never go back.
You don't need motivation. You don't need hype. You don't need someone patting you on the back. All you need is to remember the way they made you feel, the way they looked at you, the way they underestimated you. And then you work. You sharpen yourself. You forge yourself into something that doesn't need validation, doesn't need permission, doesn't need approval.
You weren't given respect, so you will take it. You weren't given a head start, so you will run harder. You weren't given power, so you will become it. One day, they will look at you and understand. One day, they will see what they created. And on that day, you won't need to say a single word. Your existence will be enough.